So yesterday you guys pretty much sent me all these messages on Twitter saying, oh my god, the new Mirror's Edge video is out, when are you making a video and stuff. Quite frankly, the reason this video is late is because I kind of have a life here. You know, I spend my time with other people that I want to spend my time with, people that are important to me, and sometimes I just don't have time to sit down and do a video the moment it releases. So it's a day late, I'm sorry, but you know, I have people I want to see, I have stuff I need to do, and I can't always sit down and do it the moment it's announced. Regardless, we got a lot of news, you know, that I haven't covered. Pretty much we've been getting daily Mirror's Edge news in some way, you know, like little news here and there, information about characters, and different things like that. And so I wanted to do a video where we're going to kind of summarize it all up. If we're going to continue to get daily updates on Mirror's Edge Catalyst, then I'm not going to be doing a video every single day, obviously. What I'm thinking of doing is like a weekly wrap-up, leading closer to release, and so every single week at the end of the week you'll see like one video. Alright guys, here's the news that was announced today, and you know, we'll just move on and go from there, right? So that's probably what I'm going to do if we're going to continue to get like small daily updates as we have been. But we've actually got a lot of good stuff to talk about, alright? So I'm going to transfer you guys over to the computer, and we're going to get this going. Alright, so here we are on the Mirror's Edge Catalyst, you know, daily, I guess the news, what they post here daily and things like that, and, okay. Alright, so here we are on the Mirror's Edge Catalyst website, the latest news section, where they pretty much post updates. So last time I talked about Mirror's Edge in terms of news, I covered the controller and the figurine release date. Now something interesting to note here, if I actually go on Amazon, and I'm going to sign in here just because I want to show you guys. I'm going to go to my orders, hold on. Here it is. Alright, so you actually take a look at the figurines here that were available for pre-order. Well, guess what? They're no longer available for pre-order. In fact, they're pretty much have been sold out, the figurines. You can still get the controller. Here's the controller. You can still pre-order the controller, but you can't pre-order the figurines at all, and the figurines are only $3,500 total. So these are already completely sold out on Amazon, and they're pretty rare. So I have no use for these, by the way. Like, it's not like I really care about the figurines in the first place. It's just Mirror's Edge, and I want it for that reason. And to be honest, I'm seriously contemplating just leaving this in the packaging as a collector's item that I can just like display on my shelf. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. So you can't even get these anymore. They don't even look that well made, but I don't know. I don't know what the significance of these figurines are. I don't really get it. I don't get it at all. But they're numbered, and they're already sold out. You can't get them anymore. So just letting you guys know that. All right, going back to the news here. The big thing we had that I know everyone wants to see me talk about is the dev diary about the city and narrative. In fact, says it was updated 35 minutes ago. So I'm curious. It doesn't say anything like that. It just says 35 minutes ago, which is interesting. So, because this was announced yesterday. We also have the enemy types of Mirror's Edge I'm going to go over, and some more exciting news that's not actually displayed here. I'm going to have to go on Twitter and find out. Actually, I can just type it this way. Musterbrand, which is one of the premier clothing items who do, you know, basically clothes for video games and whatnot, have actually started doing a Mirror's Edge Catalyst clothing line. So we're going to talk about that. This is actually pretty exciting as well. So let's start off by talking about the new dev diary that was released. So it's called City and Narrative. It says, in an all-new developer diary, DICE talks about the thrilling story and rich locations of Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Now, I already watched this trailer yesterday while I was at Jake's house, and so it's not going to be like a first thing, but this will be like my sort of opinions and stuff. I'm going to take a look at this and I'll let you guys know what I think. So we're going to watch this, make sure it's 1080p and full screen for you guys. Alright, so let's watch this and actually see. Actually, I have to turn the volume on. Volume's not on at all. Alright, let's watch this. There's actually some brief new you know, pieces of
One
footage in
of
here.
the most
Pretty
iconic
exciting.
things with Faith's look isn't just her outfit, it's also her determination. She has such an edgy look. Her look is a metaphor for how she cuts through the city of glass. She doesn't take the path that everyone else does, but she finds her new way.
I once knew a young woman who would defy anyone and anything in order to do what she felt was right. But you're clearly not her. You're broken.
The comic, which precludes the game, leaves Faith in jail. And when we start playing the game, she's just being released from jail and being let back into the city, which she hasn't seen for 2 years.
Wow, okay.
A very near future city. It's something that we can relate to because there's a lot of both architectural elements but also cultural elements that we can see there.
The City of Glass is a city with a lot of history, and we've tried to build that for...
Just to pause it here, it's a really good trailer. What's I noticed here, first off, is that we're actually getting real modeled civilians this time around. In the first game, we just got basically silhouettes of people. We never got to see what the true civilians are of Glass, and you can see civilians talking around here. You can also see like heavy personnel and guards, just, you know, security and people with weapons just standing by waiting for anything. And what a gorgeous sight. You can actually take a look at some of the effects here. And I am going to assume this is all in game. I'm pretty sure. You can see the real-time reflections on the bottom, just looking absolutely gorgeous right here, reflecting you know, the patrolman right here. I hope to God these aren't screen space reflections, because screen space reflections are just an illusion. They're not actually true reflections. But I have a feeling that in order to get it to run extremely well on consoles and get the real-time reflections they're looking for, they may actually have screen space reflections as an option. I'm hoping for actual real-time, you know, real, true rendered reflections, not screen space. Because SSR is it's a good method, but it doesn't cost much. But like I said, it's an illusion. It, depending on the camera angle, it creates a reflection. But if you actually take a look, if you like move the camera angle towards the bottom of the surface, you'll notice that it won't look reflective at all. It's just, you know, it's an illusion. So I really hope that that's not the case. As far as, like, you know, I can imagine them doing it for the console version, but for the PC version, I hope that they actually up it and make sure the resolution's higher and things like that. Usually DICE always makes the best PC ports. You know, Star Wars Battlefront, love it or hate it, is probably the most optimized game in the history of PC gaming when you look at it. That game runs beautifully, and the SLI usage in particular on that game is just nothing short of just incredible. So I trust that DICE is really going to make sure the game is well optimized, and it's probably going to run well. It's going to run well on consoles, it's going to run well on PC, so really looking forward to that. But nice to have rendered civilians this time around. I can imagine running through here in Glass in gameplay and seeing, hopefully the civilians will react to you. I can imagine them kind of reacting to you and kind of being scared, or kind of running away, like running to cover as these, you know, patrolmen here, the SWAT, basically come and get you. So that is pretty exciting, all right?
Elements that we can see there.
The City of Glass
gorgeous.
is a city with a lot of history, and we've tried to build that. For example, we have a downtown section.
I love this. This is actually, you can actually notice this is pretty much in-game. I know it's kind of blurry right here, but one thing that stuck out to me about it being in-game is that you have lens flares right here, which kind of gives you, which kind of reveals to you that, hey, this is an actual in-game screenshot. And oh my God, do you realize how busy this is? I'm trying to pause it to the point where, you know, we get a high quality shot here, but just to take a look at how busy all the stuff that's going on. Look at all the traffic down here, all the lights, this horrendous motion blur. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. The effects are in here. This is like Las Vegas, but not, it's kind of, actually it pretty much reminds me of Las Vegas at this point now, looking at it, this downtown area. It's pretty much, yeah, it's pretty much Las Vegas, to be honest, in terms of the lights, with a lot more buildings and it's a lot more futuristic and clean, obviously. But you can pay attention to what he's saying. He says that downtown is going to be more similar to the original Mirror's Edge in the fact that you're going to have lots of close buildings put together and things like that, and everything's not going to look as newish as possible. So let's hear what he has to say.
Well, we have a downtown section, which is very much like an old school Mirror's Edge with grittiness and like creaky pipes. But then we have these new parts of the city that are brand new, super glossy, reflective.
So now we have dynamic time of day, which as an artist I really
And that is
love.
a big thing. Dynamic time of day. I expected this. This isn't like a surprise to me. I kind of expected this since it is an open world game. But this is going to be exciting, you know, playing through the game. And I'm curious to know whether it's dynamic time of day with missions as well. Because a lot of games will basically have like a mission and then before, you know, like Grand Theft Auto 5 for instance, it's a dynamic time of day in the main world, but when you would go to a mission you would notice the day would elapse to a specific time. So I wonder, I'm curious in Mirror's Edge whether they actually have like dynamic time of day with missions as well. So you'll play some mission in the daytime and someone else can play that very same mission but at nighttime or with rain. I wonder if it's going to have something similar like that. But that's pretty exciting, dynamic time of day, and I pretty much expected it, but it's nice to get that confirmation, and it's going to be pretty cool. And I wonder if that extends to missions.
Because in the first game it was beautiful.
That is cool. That's freaking cool. Look at this.
It was gorgeous.
Hey.
It was
Love these screenshots. Again, you can actually see the lens flare right there as the drone goes by. You can see the lens flare and also some aliasing on her as well, revealing that this is in fact a rendered in-game footage. I'm curious to see, because you know it's the game looked good originally, right? But I just feel like we got a bit of a graphics upgrade in some cases, and I hope to God that these cutscenes, and I have a feeling that they are, unfortunately, the cutscenes are just videos and not actual in-game cutscenes. And the only reason that I'm a bit hesitant about that is because a lot of times you'll play a video game and then it'll switch to a cutscene, and the cutscene will be really low quality. It'll be really pixelated and it won't look that good, and you'll notice that the bit rate on the video will be very low to the point where whenever there's like fast motion you can see these pixelizations and things, you know, like these little squares in the video. And so I'm hoping to God that these videos aren't compressed, you know, in Catalyst, that the cutscenes aren't compressed, that they're actual in-game rendered cutscenes, or they're just really high quality videos. Because I really do not, I mean, this is streamed content obviously, you know, but I really want to see really nice high quality videos for this, especially when we have higher resolution TVs and monitors these days. You always have to take that into account. You know, 4K has pretty much been on the rise, and it's pretty much affordable now, and you know, we need content to take advantage of all those pixels, and so I'm hoping that the videos do that.
was these white buildings with big colors, but now we've had to tackle how would that look at night.
It's clean.
There's another view of the downtown area with the traffic. You can see a ton of civilians on the bottom, and the tram system going across. This is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I just look at this, I'm just like, this game is just, it's just nuts, you know? Again, like I was saying, but like I was saying in my previous videos, it's almost like it shouldn't be possible how amazing it looks. Not from a graphical standpoint, but in terms of a density standpoint. You know, there's just so much going on, and the gameplay matches so smoothly and things like that. I'm actually surprised the media hasn't been covering this game as frequently as I have, or just as somewhat frequently as they should have, because a lot of them just are like, oh, let's post a tweet, new Mirror's Edge Catalyst video, but it's like, how do you look at this and not want to do like an analysis video on it, or at least just let people know, you know? And every single time I go to the comment system on the Mirror's Edge, you know,
It's got this.
trailers, every single time I look at the comments and the videos, it's all positive. Everyone's like, oh my god, the game looks amazing. So I don't, you know, I'm kind of hoping that, you know, the game doesn't kind of lose traction. It hasn't been getting much media coverage, you know, but it looks pretty cool. So All right.
It's like industrial elegance to the spaces.
You can actually see different character models here on the side where he's moving. Some characters from Black November and
Not many games
you can see the Asian, what presumably may be Faith's sister is this picture right here with she has a baton and a white coat. So interesting, really interesting.
Use clean. Everything's always dirty in games.
Yes, which is true. Everything is always dirty in games. You notice that the future is always portrayed as like a dark, mysterious place where people are being oppressed and life sucks and there's racism and all this shit. And that's the future in most games and most media, how it portrays it. When's the last time you saw a game that went in the future and it was bright, vivid, and everyone was living well? In this game, it's kind of like an illusion where everything's bright, vivid, and clean, but of course you're being oppressed and you have no personal freedoms, basically. It's much different from a world like Deus Ex where, you know, everyone's kind of segmented and everything's dark and dirty and things like that. But he's absolutely right. You know, pretty much every single game is dirty. Everything's dirty, everything's rough, and a lot of people pack junk into a specific area because it basically just adds density and stuff to the world. Like, oh, look at all the cool stuff that we have. Look at all this paper and trash, you know, things like that. So I'm just saying, he's absolutely correct with that statement.
The ruling conglomerate, the authorities, and they are very keen on putting
The gorgeous interior spot right here, chandelier with the trees in the center, just absolutely gorgeous. I wonder what type of interior spots these are. Like is this like an office building? Is this a personal home? Like things like that. So I'm curious to find out what that actually is.
a nice touch on things, like a nice facade.
Don't get lost.
Barely out of prison and already stirring things up? Your parents would be proud.
I'm just looking at the quality of the videos here, and just really good. So it looks good on YouTube. It does look good on YouTube. I'm just hoping that translates over to significantly much better in game. Pretty much everyone I know is somewhat excited to experience this, and the story looks really good this time, which is such a positive. So I'm really hoping that nail that story down, get the cutscene quality well, and things like that. Pretty cool. You can actually see the 405 freeway closed. It says right there on the sign. It's kind of funny because I live in Los Angeles, and there is a 405 freeway which runs kind of through LA and kind of up to San Diego, actually, if you take it longer. So taking a look at a couple more buildings here, more Pirandello stuff on the side. We don't know what Pirandello is yet as far as a corporation, but that's interesting. Then WFYO Finance, fiscal year something, WFYO, and remember that the way the year is, you know, it's a business, you know, kind of corporation world, so they do it by fiscal year instead of like a standard year. That's what their calendar is. So something fiscal year something finance. So all right.
Players, the main factions of the City of Glass.
We have more people. It's kind of walking in buildings, and we see a patrolman right there. CPF, I guess you can say. We can use that term again, CPF.
The most important one is, of course,
She's getting out of prison.
it's the authorities. And
Here's a good shot of, I would assume is the girl who runs Elysium Corp. And presumably Faith's sister, possibly, and then Kruger.
opposed to them is a sort of
Take a look here. She's looking off, newscasts, things
resistance
like that.
movement called Black November. Then there's the runners, and they are sort of neutral, but due to the events that Faith set in motion, they will be forced to take a stand.
Thought that this would be a
No, you didn't think, Faith. You never do.
I feel proud.
Ooh. I don't know. The only thing I can tell from their relationship is that their Icarus joined up after Faith was arrested, and he's sort of basically they're competitors, right? They're trying to compete for like the #1 spot in terms of running in glass. They're highly competitive with each other, but I'm kind of sensing like a best friendship here. Some people said a romantic relationship. I really just don't think this story is going to go for that. If this story is smart, it won't try to weave in a romantic subplot to what's going on, because that's just totally unnecessary. As much as you want to humanize the characters and give them that tangible kind of realness, there's no romantic subplot needed here, really, and I think it would throw off the balance of what they're trying to do. And so if they just go with the whole best friendship kind of thing and they're highly competitive, I think that'll work out pretty well. So I think that's what's happening here, is he's kind of sticking with her. They're highly competitive, but they also have tons of respect for each other, and they're really good friends. So
I'm happy to work
no romantic subplot
on the project. It's beautiful.
It gives you so much more depth to explore, both from the city's perspective and the story.
Absolutely gorgeous. So that was the trailer. All right, pretty good trailer, really enjoyable, and gave us a really good, beautiful look at the city of glass. And sign up for the beta now, and basically that's it. So said that they're going to announce the beta very soon. I think at the end of this week. So hopefully that's the case, and we'll get the beta in mid-April. I'm actually on spring break right now, so maybe we can get it in next week. highly doubtful, but should be pretty nice. All right, so that was a trailer, and basically it says you'll learn how DICE tackled Fate's background story, the architectural design, the factions within the City of Glass, and the challenge portraying city nightlife. So pretty cool, and they say stay tuned for more dev diaries, so they're going to give us tons more. All right. Next up, we have the enemy types in Glass. It says, in the City of Glass, information is power. When meeting enemies face to face, you want to be armed with knowledge to exploit their weaknesses and maximize your advantages. In this post, you'll learn about the different enemy types and some details to help prepare you for the fight against the ruling conglomerate. As always, producer Jeremy Miller is standing by to give us all the information we need. Read on, you'll know your enemy in no time. What are the different types of enemies Faith will encounter? In the beautiful mid-high cast City of Glass, guns are seen as barbaric, disruptive, and unnecessary in Catalyst. This is reflected in the enemies you will encounter. So, interesting enough, I guess, it's funny because it says, guns are seen as barbaric, disruptive, unnecessary, yet we have a picture of guys fully armed with an assault rifle of some kind there. But I have a feeling that these guys are probably what you're going to see out in the, basically the standard world. These look like you're basically run-of-the-mill cops in the game. You got some body armor. They're not really well protected. They're well dressed. I'll give them that. They just got blue with white and a black hat and the sunglasses. Of course, you have to give them the sunglasses, like in the original Mirror's Edge with the cost of the sunglasses. So pretty cool. Says first we have Guardians, the most common face of KrugerSec to a well-behaved employee. A constant reminder to the employees to closely follow conglomerate policy and keep job performance high. Runners have been dealing with them for years, and the Guardians offer little challenge to even a relatively new cable member. So again, they're not much of a challenge. They're probably going to go down with one kick to the face. So, whatever. Then we have, it looks like we got like a little bit of an upgrade. It says the next level of training produces protectors, an uncommon and uncomfortable sight for employees as their presence is often associated with direct policy enforcement, a demotion, or even deportation to lower caste facilities. So interesting enough, this actually gives us some. This actually gives us a look at how the government system works in the game. So these guys get called in. If you suck at your job, they're going to demote you and move you to a different facility, or they're even going to move you to a different part of the city, like a city where, I guess not enemies necessarily, but lawbreakers pretty much live in. So that's interesting. It's just the way the city behaves. Can you imagine that? Just like being moved for work because you didn't do something, or you interrupted a policy, or you're even having to move where you live. Like, that's nuts. It says resistant to damage and able to counter or retaliate against repeated attacks, their increased level of competence and protective gear make them a serious threat when found in groups. Gotcha. So these guys are going to be pretty much heavily armed. You got a nice little SWAT mask. I love the design of these, by the way. I like the blue and I like the black. It really just works out well. Then you got the next level up. These guys look like they're ready to do some damage. What about organized resistance or even riot control in a world of Mirror's Edge Catalyst? So, I'm actually curious right now. It says Guardians, right? No. These are Guardians. Is this a protector or is this a protector? Because it goes on the show. Maybe they're... It's interesting. I have a feeling that these may be both Guardians, and then this is a protector. I have a feeling that this may be the protect. I don't know, because this may just be another character model of this, because he's not wearing much body armor. He just looks like he's dressed in a different way, and he has a mask this time. This guy looks like a significant upgrade from those two, so I don't know. So what about organized resistance or even riot control in the world of Mirror's Edge Catalyst? There's been little to no overt resistance to conglomerate rule and glass since the November riots. Still, Krugersek has a class of units called shock protectors, okay, which may be this on the bottom, trained and ready to handle large groups or difficult employees or low castes, Equipped with a kinetic pacifier, one or two can effectively corral large groups and force them to the ground. So you remember in the trailer we saw one of the guards actually shoot his weapon, and these blue orbs kind of came out of the weapon. So it's actually called a kinetic pacifier, and it's just a it doesn't kill. It basically just it basically knocks him out, and so I guess that's what this assault rifle is. It says shock protectors are tough and extremely resistant to direct attacks. Keep moving. Use your momentum to attack while traversing the environment. If you get stuck on the ground, shift away from their attacks and counter with a kick from behind. If you unlock stun advantage, you can take advantage of a stunned or stumbling shock protector by shifting in close, delivering a few quick punches before breaking away to rebuild your speed and keep out of range. So we get an upgrade to our movement system, it would seem, and we'd be able to take them out much easier. So pretty cool. Who are Enforcers? Says the Enforcers are the special tactics team of Krugersek trained in tactical positioning and high damage range combat. The Enforcers are, however, only lightly trained in close quarters fighting. Used for external military purposes, they have only been present in correctional facilities, or as Gabriel Kruger's personal bodyguards. This is about to change. When in combat with the Enforcers, keep moving and keep your focus high. Close distances fast and take them out quickly. Ignoring them can be fatal, really. They are hesitant to fire near friendlies, which can be used to your advantage. Interesting. So, these were once bodyguards of Krugersek and of Kruger himself, actually. I guess because of the events of the runners and what's happening, these guys go after pretty much the runners. What is the toughest enemy Faithful encounter? That would be the Sentinel. They are the elite level of Krugersek and represent the highest trained enemy you will face. The training program is shrouded in secrecy, but their effectiveness is undebatable. They keep employees safe, often from themselves. The Sentinels are fast, tenacious, and quick to deliver punishment. When facing a Sentinel, keep moving to do advanced traversal to build some distance, and attack from the air as much as possible to avoid being countered. Take them on face-to-face as is difficult as they can knock you to your feet with a single heavy punch, before following up quickly with a sequence of attacks designed to beat you into submission. The switch place move is extremely useful and can help level the playing field. So interesting. Another, kind of look at the different moveset that we're going to have, our upgrades to ourselves. We hope this post has prepared you well to take on the forces of the conglomerate when Mirror's Edge Catalyst launches. Stay tuned for more articles and blah, 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 blah. So interesting. I love the enemy designs, by the way. They're just great enemy designs. Really, really nice. They've kind of gotten a little bit of a slight change from original because They were originally dressed in like white and red, but I like the blue. The blue, black, and white is more aligned with, you know, a police force, and this works out pretty well. So I really like that. The way they're dressed is really nice. All right, so we have that. Next up, we're going to talk about the apparel. All right. So there's only 2 items available so far, but it's still pretty exciting. All of us who really wanted, it's funny because someone said that Mirror's Edge should have a clothing line, and I absolutely 100% agree. Mirror's Edge is one of those rare games where a clothing line makes complete sense. So we don't have much at the moment. We have just a woman's sweatshirt, and it's not unisex. It's just a pure. It says it's a pure female runner jacket, and you just take a look at the pictures here really quick. If I would not zoom. Nice material, and definitely it looks like it's from the game. You have a little dice logo on the bottom there, and this is official, by the way. This is the official clothing line that they're gonna partner up with Musterbrand with. And for, you have the Mirror's Edge symbol on the back, and it's also water resistance. It can get wet. It can get wet and stuff, and you can actually see that with the mannequin. You have these like red sleeves and stuff. I really like the design actually. And it's not that expensive, only $90, and you get this, and you get a really nice performance style sweatshirt with, you know, the red gloves and things like that. It's pretty freaking cool. I really like it. So it's really cool. And so we'll probably get more later on. You also have the Catalyst bag, which basically, you know, it's just a standard backpack with the Mirror's Edge symbol, and this one's pretty nice. I actually am thinking about getting this one. It's actually not available yet. It's going to be available on April 19th. But you can just take a look. It's a nice high quality backpack. You know, you got some straps here and some breathing and things like that. It looks really nice. It goes well with the coat. Pretty cool. I really like it. I like the design. So yeah, Musterbrand is actually a pretty cool online store. They do like definitely like a lot for games. You can see like they have a ton of game stuff, especially like Deus Ex, because I originally wanted the Adam Jensen coat. I actually didn't realize that they had another Adam Jensen coat. This is the limited edition one. I think this is the new one. Yeah, this is the new one, Mankind Divided. So pretty freaking cool, and it's not even available. It's a pre-sale. So it's a good brand. Musterbrand's definitely a good brand, and should be pretty exciting. I'm actually interested to see what more we get from them in the future when we start adding more, you know, designer elements and things like that. So, pretty awesome. The last thing I want to touch upon really quickly is the character section, because we got a new character that was revealed. Birdman is one, and then also Dogen, alright? And Icarus just got updated today as well. Jeez. Oh, they're going fast with this. Alright, so let's talk about Birdman. No, this is not associated with that movie. It says Birdman was a runner long before there was a word for it. At first, it was simply a way for him to get around, but when the conglomerate began to reshape glass, he saw his way of life threatened and started doing runs for the resistance. He came to inspire others, which in turn gave rise to the Cables. Though he still runs occasionally, he is now way past his prime in contemplation, and pigeon feeding has become a higher priority. So I originally thought this guy was from Black November, but it appears not. He was actually, I guess, the first runner, I guess you can call him. And he doesn't have a name. People just call him Birdman. So pretty cool, I guess. That's Birdman. I guess we'll learn more about him later. Next up we have Dogen, which apparently is from the comics, and I have not read the comics yet. So it says specializing in black market goods and contraband, Dogen cares mostly about money and mischief. Conflicts between the city factions hold no interest to him beyond a steady source of income. Dogen can always be trusted to get the job done, but he shows allegiance to no one but himself. Interesting to note, Dogen he's not part of the runners, but he's not also part of Black November. He's sort of like I guess you can kind of relate him to the Yakuza in Japan, where he kind of is like a gang leader. Says specializing in black market goods and contraband. So basically he can get like secret items and things like that. I actually wonder in the game whether or not they're gonna use Dogen as a source of you to buy items or upgrades or things like that. he may be the guy that you go to, and you may have to do special side missions for him to get those upgrades for your items in the game. That could be a possibility. But interesting to note here, why won't he take the apron off? He's wearing this really nice suit underneath, but he's still wearing that apron. Come on, dude. Alright, then we have Icarus. The competitive, independent Icarus rivals Faith in both skill and cockiness. They both compete for their affection of Noah and the position as top runner in the city. Icarus's true background is something he keeps well hidden, and only Noah is aware of the secret. And I imagine later on in the story they're actually going to... Icarus is eventually going to tell us. People say I look like him, and I mean, really? People are like, people say you are the spitting image of Icarus. I'm like, really? Minus the accent, of course, because he's from the South, definitely. But I don't know. I don't know. Easter egg. Interesting, but that's cool. You know, we got to learn more about the character and things like that. And that's all pretty much that we have for today. Still don't have beta details. The gameplay is still the same. Nothing here. And then basically the story is still the same. Nothing here. And then that's all we have. So I will get back to you guys later when we have significant more Mirror's Edge news. Again, it seems like we're getting daily updates now. I'm not going to be doing a video every single day because that's just not practical. But when I can, I will do a video, and again, if we continue to do like daily updates with Mirror's Edge, then I'll just do a weekly wrap up and things like that. I think that's the best possible scenario, but we'll see. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and more Mirror's Edge, more preparing for Mirror's Edge Catalyst videos will be up shortly, alright? Have a good one. I'll talk to you guys later.